Mondays to Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the newsroom. You can't afford to miss it.
Good afternoon, viewers at home. You are welcome to today's edition of the program in the newsroom, where we discuss salient issues affecting the country. Today we have 3 topics to be discussed. First is 2023 presidency. Aspirants allege wastage of multi-billion dollars on primary votes. Then we are also going to talk on the recent warning by INEC saying that extending deadline for primaries will have dire consequences. Then thirdly, we are going to look at the rising cost of vehicles. Nigerian dealers patronize accidented cars. My name is Kayode Adebayo. Now, I have with me on the program today our regular guests. Sonia Fadepa is sitting close to me. Sonia, you're welcome on the program.
Thank you very much. Nice having you here again.
Yeah. I also have with me in the house, Larry Fadansi is also a known face on the program. Larry, you are welcome.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you very much. The third guest, more or less, Shitu Alamo, is unavoidably absent. So, now, gentlemen, we are going to start the program now. 2023 presidency, aspirants allege wastage of multi-billion dollars on primary votes. Sonia, if that whopping sum is being wasted on primary, what about the main election?
Well, nobody should be surprised, really, that that much money is wasted on primaries. It's only that this thing is escalating every election year. We've been having that escalation for a very long period now. But for candidates or for these politicians to be alleging, who are they alleging? I don't know the ones that are there. I don't know the ones wasting this money. I don't know the ones that are making these primaries uninterestingly difficult for people who can do it, who are not ready to come into it, because they have money. If you have money, you take the shots. And that's what they've been doing. They are treating one another in money politics. And it's not very good for Nigeria. It's not very good. If you are wasting this kind of money on primaries which are not yet sure whether you emerge or not. By the time you emerge, I wonder how much they will spend. And Nigerians are already waiting. Like, I don't know who that was, who said, anybody that's giving money, just take it from them. Because it's your money. But then, vote for your conscience. Make sure you vote people who can do it. But we are the people who can do it now. That's the question I keep asking myself. So just wasting money unnecessarily on an election that may not even hold. That's the funniest thing about it. A lot of people have been warning that, and people are even bent now that, come with me, if you say you want to hold elections, they are going to...
Are the ones complaining.
Okay.
Now, a party asked its presidential aspirants to bring 100 million, another one is talking about 40 million. Now, the fact of it is, there is electoral value if, as an aspirant, I drop 100 million, and we want to go for primaries. I know I must attract delegates to myself, and we hold the delegate election, and I lose. That time, the party can come around and say, look, you have shown interest as a party man. We will recognize you if we win. Let's work together. That's one part. Now, for aspirants that know they have paid that huge sum of money, especially the APC now, but they're not sure they are going to hold the primaries where delegates will vote. They might go back to consensus, and when you are going back to consensus, it means whatever people have invested is an investment. We have seen now that, for instance, the PDP held some of its primaries for reps and the rest of them, and some candidates are emerging now who were governorship aspirants, who paid to be governorship candidates in the PDP primaries, before the PDP primaries and the choice of their candidate for Osun. However, some of them are now clinching tickets for Senate, for House of Reps, because that investment has not gone to waste. Do you get the drift? But in like the APC, okay, don't promote your candidacy now. Let's be done with governorship. Everybody's holding their hands down. As it is now, don't do any other thing. Come and pay if you want to president. They have paid. At the same time, they are telling them, sign a form that if the party goes for consensus, you have agreed. So, is that not a waste of resources? If I'm putting down 100 million, and you have already told me that at the end of the day, we may not allow your popularity to work for you because we may not go to a voting election. So that's the snag. So for both major political parties that we have, it might be a different story because one party is probably saying they want to go for primaries. Another party is still working towards, because I listened to what the governor of Borno State said. Solomon is of the opinion that the body language of Buhari will tell them where delegates will vote to. And they are waiting for the last minute. So it means if you are coming to campaign to us, don't be surprised. If at the end of the day, the president says, delegates, this is where you are going. That's consensus. That's where we are going. So if we promise you now, and the person we are watching tells us this is where I'm going, that is where we all will go. So it's short of just saying, Mr. President, why ask us to put in this money if you already knew where you were going? So it's neither here nor there, but the truth is that money is too much to pay for party nominations. And they are referring to it as a waste because the process is not due. If it's due process, you have said you have thrown in yourself into the competition, you have made the payment, that means you want to go all the hog. Why not allow them to go all the hog? Let the best, most popular person win. But in a situation where some shenanigans are playing out and some people are probably they will assume they are being edged out of the game plan, then it's considered a waste. Why make us pay that much if indeed you are not going to be democratic about it? So the question is, how democratic are the primaries for the presidential choice going to be? How democratic?
Thank you, Larry. So yeah, looking at this scenario, if somebody wastes a whopping sum amounting to billions of dollars on primary and eventually he did not make it, and such a person is given a ministerial appointment, don't you think the situation is like falsifying the level of corruption in the country?
Well, I think to that extent, I want to believe that the APC or the PDP or whichever party that asks somebody to pay a certain amount of money knows exactly why that money is being paid. I will give you an instance. Look at the APC with 100 million, PDP with 40 million. Let's look at those two parties. If about, let's say 6 candidates, I'm just giving an example, pays 100 million, imagine how much that would have been. And that kind of money they are paying, the two of them would have known from the beginning that one candidate will be matched eventually. And mark you, the way things are going, with the way we put politics in Nigeria, the candidate may not even emerge among those 6 by the time the chips are down. If a candidate now emerges among those 6, the others, their loss would have been to now chip in maybe board appointments or ministerial appointments and things like that. And the first thing they want to do is to be part of that money. Whoever becomes the candidate at last, the money that the parties have already taken from all these candidates will be used to prosecute the election. Because the way we are going now is money politics. It's still in the air. Money politics. If they take that kind of money, the whole thing may not be thrown into election. Some of them are used to run the party secretariat and things like that. But by the time they get there, like I said, they want to make that money back. And the person who becomes a candidate at last will have to spend much more money than that 100 million to become the to emerge victorious. He may not even emerge victorious. All that money that we're talking about, where did the money come from in the first place? From ordinary Nigerians. Embezzle this, embezzle that, put that in your account. And if you're not caught, you're not a rogue. That 100 million, imagine what you could have done for Nigeria. Imagine what the aggregate of all the money paid now would have done to the Nigerian economy. We're not looking at that. All we are looking at is the selfish ego in us. I want to be there. I want to be. Some of them even want to be president, if just for 1 week. To have that tag behind to as a prefix to their name, ex-president so. And some have said it. At least one candidate has said it sometimes that he has that long life ambition of becoming the president of Nigeria. So it's a matter of life and death. And so we are promoting corruption to the highest level. We are good. And nobody's speaking of that. We have so much problem in Nigeria today. We are calling for constitutional review. We are calling for instruction and all that kind of thing. They're not looking at that. People are dying in their thousands. They're not looking at that. It's just these 2023 primary elections. This governorship elections, this election, that election. If only we can sit back and think, we'll see that we are heading for the cliff, the way things are going on. Right. We are really heading for the cliff. I cannot see any of these people that want to buy now, that can boast, they might be saying it, that can boast and say that I'll put an end to insurgency in this country. So this is a business that even some of them are gaining from. And so, if you now come into president and you are posting that you put pay to insurgency, you do this, you do that, and get and cannot do it, what do you think will happen? And Nigeria has risen from the former level. Nigerians have risen from the former level. Nigerians are no longer just passive. Many Nigerians are becoming very, very active and becoming agitators now. They're becoming very, very agitated and they want to do something to make sure that what is better. But all these people are not, like we always say, a statesman will see beyond the next election, will look at the next generation. But an ordinary politician will look at the next election. That's exactly what they're playing out, what is playing out in Nigeria today. And that's not very good for our economy. It's not very good for our politics. It's not very good for our politics. It's not very good for the international image.
Thank you, Saya. Let me go back to Larry. Now, with the way things are going now, and you see, one of the cardinal objectives of the present administration under Buhari is to fight corruption. Now, can we really make any headway in combating corruption in this country the way things are going?
So fortunately, the middle name of Nigeria is corruption. It's a middle name, and you have shown identity by your middle name. You are not running away from it. And it has not been shown to be so. I cannot imagine in the whole world that it was possible for any sane nation, to say one individual can steal 80 billion. I don't think any society, human society, 80 billion. 1 billion is not 100 million. It is not 900 million. It's 1,000 million. Remove 1,000 poverty-stricken families with 1 billion. They're not talking of 80 of it. It's unfortunate, but that's how bad it is. So if we are in that type of a nation, you know that talking about fighting corruption, people will just laugh at you the world over. The world over. The World Financial Institution has said that Nigeria spends $220-something million in 3 months on payment of school fees outside, where people cannot live as human beings again. In the poverty capital of the world, you are spending that much on foreign education, and your schools are closed in your own territory. It's not, there's no gainsaying the fact that it's a failed, we have addressed failure as a nation directly. So that we are fighting corruption, please, let's stop discussing that as issues now. We want to see how we can get out of where the logjam. Corruption has taken a new dimension. An individual from assessors outside Nigeria had 1.5 trillion traced into his, not their account. One person, the master boss. So how do you say you are running a nation like that? And ASU is asking for 20 billion, 25 billion. You can solve that problem, and individuals, they are not, it's not Nigerian president. One individual, 1.5 trillion, 900 million, another tranche of $700, not naira, $900 million. Well, I don't know. We should just be sincere with ourselves,
Okay.
that we have lost it.
Okay.
If it is possible to salvage as a nation, let's start addressing that. Now, to an average politician, they want to hold the next election. Fine, hold your elections. We're not stopping. But the fact is, be sincere with yourselves and know we have to discuss some issues.
Okay.
It's patent and permanently liable to do that.
All right. Thank you, Larry. Let me come back to Soya. Now, let's look at it this way. If individuals are spending billions of dollars for the purpose of election in a country which is trying to borrow money to finance its economy, are you not worried? And what is the way out of this problem? Because it's a problem.
I've said it earlier that these people are richer than Nigeria. But all this money we got from Nigeria, we are taking from our boss, Nigeria here. It shows you, if you look at the aggregate, you see that Nigeria is very rich. In terms of human resources, in terms of economy, in terms of everything. God has blessed us. But unfortunately, we have blessed ourselves with wrong leadership. If the population, the masses, don't have wrong orientation to do doing all the things we are doing in these elections. You give some people are fighting that at all costs they must win elections. And they are fighting, they give you just 5,000 naira and say, go and mobilize people to vote for me. The person that's giving, I'm just using as an example, the person that's giving 5,000 naira will just take 1,000 out of it and then be giving people 500 naira. Go vote for it and he keeps the money. He himself is corrupt. The person who gave you the money is corrupt. Those people receiving money from you, they are corrupt. And this is a system that shoots up our leaders. So, yeah, can we end corruption that way? All of us innately, most Nigerians innately are corrupt. I've been saying it here, if you go to the marketplace now, go to the normal paper seller in the market, and say, do you like the way this country is now? She or he may say, oh, I don't like it. What's the matter with this country? Our leaders are so corrupt. Then what's the solution to it? I said, well, there's something you can do, just pray that God would help us. But I also pray too that my own children would rise up and to do what? To go into the system. Like rats, go into the system and take your own out of it. So all of us have resigned ourselves to this fate that if you cannot beat them, join them. After all, what can we do about it? So let's leave it like that.
Okay.
It will need a total overhaul of the system, if you have any system at all. A total overhaul to be able to convince people that this is what we must do. This is what we must not do. In fact, what you must not do are more than what you can do. There are certain things that if you don't do them, things will go right. But these are the same things we keep doing all the time. All the time. Government tells you, tell your people you are going to have passport photographs. Tell your parents, on the air. But every parent must know that your pupils must have passport photographs. You go to the schools. The schools say, okay, bring a photographer that will come and take this. The photographer will come. How much are you taking? Normally we take a passport photograph for 500 naira. But because you have so many pupils in the school, they're going to give you for 100 naira. Fine. The principal will now call the teachers. I've gotten a photograph who says you give us for 450. So tell your pupils to tell their parents that we're giving this photograph at a reduced price of 450. The teachers will now go back to the students again. Tell your parents at home that your school has told you to go and tell your parents that this is going to be for 470. It's a reduced price because you're going to take it outside 500. The people should now get home and tell their mother or whoever they are asked to bring 470. The mother will now tell the father, the schools have reduced 10 naira from the whole thing. So that's a reduced price. That 10 naira can go along. If you have 4 kids in the home, that's 14 naira. So they're going to take 490. You see the level of corruption. And that is the problem we have in this country. All of us are immediately, you can cheat even our own children to make money. And why? Because the poverty level has risen so to an astronomical level that nobody trusts anybody anymore. All this, what can I grab from this system? Let me take it. What can I grab from this system? Let me take it. And we are going nowhere with that. We are back to square, in fact, below square one.
All right.
We are probably going to square zero. We are going.
All right, thank you, Sawyer. Larry, now, this is where we are. What is the way out of this problem now?
Well, part of it is that, like our guy said, divergent necessities make people do things that are not in the best interest of society, but they find themselves in that situation. Leaders are the people who are supposed to structure the system so that the followers will be in line.
Okay.
Now, our institutions are weakened because how do you correlate? Somebody was accused of corruption, and the next thing you're hearing is that he has been promoted. And you begin to wonder, is that an added feather because he was corrupt? Even agencies that are supposed to arrest people for stealing money, Magu has just been promoted in this same Nigeria. And so to people who want to do the right thing, you begin to wonder, is it even sensible to do the right thing in this kind of space? Now, talking about divergent necessities, somebody is on the road and a politician, through where they have coins, you have a dollar or pound sterling coin that is thick and hard, and he throws it at somebody that is hungry. He hits that person on the head. You know it will be painful.
Yes.
He rubs it, but he picks up that thing will feed him, but his heart is not praying for that person that gave it. But he's forced to take it. So when people are boxed to a corner, they are not in the best of situations, and as leaders, you have not shown direction. They will collect what you bring, they know is bad. Okay, we'll give you money, the Boko Sebe. If I don't take it, they will have their way.
All right.
Will I not have mine? So, as it is, I believe that the duty of care and the duty of succeeding at it rests with leadership. And the moment leadership fails, it's the responsibility of institutions to call them to order. So when that is not working, we should not look at those who are under. They are underdogs. They are dregs of society. They believe if you want to trample on them, what can they do? And that's not the way to do, because it engenders the spirit of revolution and it might lead to chaos. So leaders should start thinking how to treat the people right. Because the people have a mass, and when that mass rises, it's not going to be pleasant.
All right, thank you.
Before we go on, let me just mention something. You see, the mass is true. We are failing in so many areas. If someone is accused of corruption, why must you now welcome that person with open arms? Why must you now praise that person to high heavens?
Give him chieftaincy title.
Why must you now welcome that person with the drums and the cymbals? Let that person know that you are wrong here. Even if the authorities will not accost that person, let the people know, and let those people know that you are wrong in this area.
Okay, all right.
Now, Stalin said, okay, I'll teach you how to do this. He made chicken. Shivered it, removed the skin and all the rest, and kept it hungry for a long time.
All right, thank you.
And he threw maize on the floor. So they will rush it.
Okay.
They make people hungry so that they don't have the reasoning capacity to even say no.
Okay.
It's unfortunate, but we'll get there.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. We'll go on a short break now. We'll come back after this time out. Don't go out.
Thank you.